So this species is actually one of the darkest Chinese sharp-nosed vipers I've ever seen. And they actually have a wider range than China. So they are found throughout a couple different countries in Southeast Asia, besides China. And depending on that woodland or that swamp area where they're found, they'll have different coloration to adapt to that area. Oh, he is thick right now. No, don't go there. If you guys get a good look at that stomach, you can see exactly where that python's been resting as it digests. And what's really interesting is that with a large python, obviously the stomach of the king cobra doesn't go the full extent of its body. So what happens is for a big python to actually fit inside a king cobra, the snake folds up in the belly. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my wildlife. I'm currently here in the snake house taking care of some late night business, feeding some animals, cleaning some enclosures, and I was actually just soaking one of my favorite pit vipers. Come get a look at this snake. This is a snake that has to be soaked about every 2 weeks because it comes from a tropical area where it is vital to get lots of rainwater, and that is the Wagler's pit viper. This is a beautiful little Wagler's pit viper that I've gotten, and this snake has a little bit of stuck shed on the back side of the body. Seems like the snake didn't go to the bathroom. We're gonna have to soak the snake again, probably in a week, just to get this guy going to the bathroom. Oh, here we go. Look how beautiful this snake is. So this is a Wagler's pit viper, also known as a temple viper. And the reason they call it a temple viper is because in Southeast Asia, and I believe the specific area is Thailand, there's a temple where they worship the temple pit viper, the Wagler's pit viper. And they actually have these guys propped up on little stands made of bamboo in the middle of the temple. They worship these snakes, and they actually allow people to hold non-venomous snakes, and then if you want, they'll actually put a temple viper on top of your head for a photo. That is extremely dangerous. I don't suggest anybody do that. That just shows you how placid these snakes can sometimes be, but at the same time, every individual is different. The last Wagler's pit viper I used to own was very placid. I never had to worry about getting struck out by the snake, but I would always keep my guard up. This snake strikes at me if I open up the enclosure too fast. And right now, just turned around, essed up at the camera, seeing that heat signature. So this snake is a little more defensive than the last Wagler's pit viper I had. They all have their own different personalities. So it's pretty interesting to think that there's a temple where they'll actually put a venomous snake on your head and only let you hold the non-venomous snake. So I think that's pretty interesting. But maybe in the future we should just go check out that temple and see it for ourselves. I would love to get close to Wagler's pit vipers and also meet the people who worship them, because in a sense, I worship these snakes as well. I love them. So we're gonna take this Wagler's pit viper and put it back inside its enclosure because it's been soaking in that bucket for about 2 hours or so. So nice, good soak. And very soon, we're gonna be putting this animal into a bioactive setup so we can have some nice, beautiful plants in the background. Love this snake, doing real good. We're also going to be soaking the Chinese sharp-nosed viper, which is also known as the 100-pace viper, because you only have 100 steps left if you get bit. So let's go check that snake out, and then we're going to be taking care of Kevin, the king cobra, the beast of all snakes in here. He needs a cleaning. He's gone to the bathroom quite a few times because he's had a nice big meal recently. So let's go get it. Alright guys, I'm actually going to go dump this water, get some fresh water, and then we're going to take this little sharp-nosed viper, give him a soak, because as you guys know, the snake that was given to me has had a little bit of an issue with stuck shed. We want to get the snake put into a new enclosure, but this snake came along with about 8 other reptiles, so I had to use all the cages I had. This is the cage that I borrowed from the owner to keep the snake in for now. Nice and secure, but I'd like to upgrade and get something bigger and put in one of these display cages. But for now, this is where the Chinese sharp-nosed viper's living. He needs a little bit of assistance with that shed. We're gonna get him into this nice big bucket of water. So let me go change this water out, and I'll be right back. All right, beautiful people, I've got in the bucket with some new water. A little less depth because this species doesn't really have an issue with constipation like the Wagler's pit viper. Wagler's pit vipers, along with a couple other species that live up in the trees, arboreal species, tend to get constipated if they don't have enough humidity, if they don't have enough hydration, they don't have enough water flowing through their body. Some snakes that are arboreal just have issues going to the bathroom, so you gotta soak them to encourage that bowel movement to go through. Some nice lukewarm water, get you nice and smooth, and it's nice and easy. We're gonna take this beautiful snake out of its enclosure. And as you guys know, this snake has an immense strike range. It could strike up to here in a split second. It is an extremely defensive snake species that has an unforgiving venom. If you get bit by this snake, it very well could kill you. Dinocystrodon acutus, a very beautiful but respectable species due to its venom and that strike. They got a beautiful set of fangs and a gorgeous face. Look how beautiful that snake is. The dark black on top, the white coming down the side of the face reminds me so much of a black-headed bushmaster, which makes me fall in love with this individual. Although they do come in different localities and have many different colors depending on where they come from. So this species is actually one of the darkest Chinese sharp-nosed vipers I've ever seen. And they actually have a wider range than China. So they are found throughout a couple different countries in Southeast Asia, besides China. And depending on that woodland or that swamp area where they're found, they'll have different coloration to adapt to that area. So we have this beautiful, dark-colored viper. Look at this snake. I'm going to put it inside the container. Let's get it hooked properly. There we go. And we're going to let him soak. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to let that snake soak because you can see there's a bunch of stuff shed. And just like the Wagler's pit viper, that water is going to help with that shed problem. And also, it's just nice to get a little bubble bath, you know? Hang out, relax, and get a nice drink. Let's put this little guy aside. All right, beautiful people. I've got my big hook. We're going to take Kevin out. I don't think I'm going to be taking him out and putting him in the can today because he still has a large portion of that meal inside his belly, so he's a bit uncomfortable being moved around so much. And I don't want to try and get him to be pushed into this can and be in an uncomfortable state. So what I'm going to do is when I get this king cobra out, Ruth's going to go to the far side of the room, use that zoom on the camera, and I'm going to let Kevin just stretch out here on the floor. We're closed right now. This is a snake-proof room approved by Florida Fish and Wildlife, so the snake cannot escape. We have double doors to actually enter this room, and both doors are locked. So we're going to take Kevin out, I'm going to clean his enclosure, and you're going to admire his beauty because he's one big, beautiful son of a gun. Alright, so we got Kevin right here. He's been a little bit cantankerous lately because when people walk by, he's like, "Get out of here, I got a tummy full of food, stop walking in front of me." We like to make sure that people aren't just walking in front of the cage waving their arms because we do let people come through and admire the animals. We teach them about all the snakes we have in here on our private tour. So, but no worries, because in the future, Kevin's going to have a large exhibit, so when people come to visit, he'll feel more comfortable because he'll have more space to get away from the people. So that's the really good part about having a walk-in enclosure for king cobras, and I'm looking forward to doing that in 2021. So as you can see, Kevin's already rearing up. I'm going to move to the side as I open this, because I don't want him to take a swing at me right now. As you can see, his stomach is extended like crazy. You can see the mass in his body right now. He does not want to be touched at all. Thanks. I'm sorry, buddy. You gonna let me grab you, huh? He is big right now. Where are you going? Let me get your head. There we go. Oh. Sorry, buddy. Oh, he is thick right now. No, don't go there. Come here. Kevin, relax. He is real thick. Kevin, relax. Hey, he's on the move. He just wants to get away. Relax. And as you can see, he is thick right now. Look how big his belly is. I really don't want to move around too much, but he's in flight mode. And as you can see, all he wants to do is get away from me right now. And this is typical of king cobras, whether it's in captivity or out in the wild. Although this is the longest species of venomous reptile on the planet, all they want to do is get away from us. They don't want to sit here and fight with us. Even if this was a defensive snake, like my other king cobra, Justina, they might flare up. They might put up in posture, maybe a bluff charge. But at the end of the day, this snake wants nothing to do with us because it's a waste of energy to interact with something it can't eat. Reptiles rely on their surrounding environment for energy, so when they utilize that energy on something that's not food, that's not good for them at all. They need to make the right choices, because out in the wild, the wrong choice is going to land you in someone else's stomach. So now that he's relaxed, you guys can admire him, check him out. I'm going to start cleaning his enclosure. There's a somewhat large spill on aisle 5, and by that, there's a lot of poop inside this enclosure. So let's get into it. It's super important to get every little bit of poop out. I could wait for him to digest that whole entire python, but by then, he would have already been sitting in this poop for too long, and it could lead to scale rot, and that's the last thing we want to happen. So, once there's a little too much poop, it's time to clean it up. If you guys get a good look at that stomach, you can see exactly where that python's been resting as it digests. And what's really interesting is that with a large python, obviously the stomach of the king cobra doesn't go the full extent of its body. So what happens is for a big python to actually fit inside a king cobra, the snake folds up in the belly. So it will fold and curve. And as it digests, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. By the time 7 to even 10 days go by, all that's left that's going to come out of that snake is a pile of scales, what's left of that Burmese python. Because scales are the most difficult part to digest of a python, because that is made of the same materials as your fingernails and your hair. It's keratin. So, slowly over time, that mass will decrease as he keeps in this enclosure, and I won't be too far away to come and clean up that mess. And I'll clean up with a smile. Alright, beautiful people, I'm almost done. Now I'm going to this side. There is a fair amount of fecal matter in here. No worries, Kevin. Don't try to help. It's okay. I'm the one with the thumbs here, right? Ungrateful son of a snake. Justina's banging the top of the enclosure. and here striking at my head right now. She is very defensive because she's in deep shed. You guys saw the last episode. So she is on guard as much as possible. Now, I'm going to put some fresh mulch in there. Kevin looks very entertained. He's very excited. He can't handle the anticipation of his new mulch, as you can see. Right? Who's a good boy? Huh? Okay. Yeah, alright guys, so we're going to put this new mulch in. It's going to add all sorts of new scents and smells for him. Oh, and it's going, which he's going to love, because that's a little bit of an enrichment for the snake. We got the water bowl put back. We got fresh mulch. And I think Kevin is ready to go home. So let me just get the glass ready. And I have a lot of sweeping to do. There was a whole lot of cleaning that I had to do. I was in here all night yesterday, and this is the last of the cleaning taken care of by big boy Kevin. And he's very aware of what's happening. He's not too happy to be moved around because he's uncomfortable with that big of a meal inside his stomach. So, before I put him back, just to remind you guys, if you want to help support king cobras out in the wild, you can actually go to this site called King Cobra Conservancy, and you can donate to help track these animals out in their native range, which will go towards helping them, finding out information that's vital to protect them out in the wild. So, if you guys want to help a great conservancy program, a great conservation group, it is the King Cobra Conservancy. They help protect these animals out in the wild, spending day in and day out tracking them, studying this species, as well as going into homes and capturing king cobras that have found themselves in situations between man and wild. So instead of getting killed, these people go out, put their life on the line to remove king cobras from rural neighborhoods, releasing them back to the wild. So if you guys want to help a good group, King Cobra Conservancy, link below. And we're going to help Kevin back into his enclosure. Look at this mess. I'm going to gently grab it. I know he's a little uncomfortable. We're going to gently pick him up. I can feel that extra weight in his stomach, and I know it's uncomfortable for him, so I want to make sure he's as comfortable as possible, and I hope he'll be happy. Oh, he's looking around. He's like, I'd like to eat those push vipers. Those look yummy. I'll eat that Yuriko rattlesnake too. I'll take that to go. We'll get that over there as well. Ooh, puff adders, delicious. I'll have two. Oh, gaboons? Oh no, he wants an Egyptian cobra today. All right, Kevin, I'm sorry. These will always be your roommates and never your meals. Get that big belly in there. Oh my goodness, look at him. I cannot wait to have this big, beautiful, 15-foot long king cobra inside an amazing walk-in enclosure so this animal can stretch itself, get exercise, and do what it's meant to do. So I'm really excited. For now, I take him out, I let him stretch like you just saw. let him get some exercise, and soon in the near future, he's gonna have the ultimate exhibit, and you guys are gonna be able to see it up close and personal when we're open to the public. So, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon for extra content. Check out our merch, Teespring, link below, and definitely help support King Cobras out in the wild, the King Cobra Conservancy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe, and most of all, wash your hands, because sometimes you touch snake poop and then you forget, and then you go to comb your hair or get something on your eye, and then you have pink eye. It's a long story. Let's wash your damn hands. I'll see you on the next one. Stay beautiful. Who's a good boy? Huh? Okay.